So one of the biggest ones that I hear is this homestead exemption one. Can you talk about that one a little bit more?
Sure, sure. So homestead exemption in the state of Florida is a residency-based exemption, meaning that you can only have one, and that's very important. You cannot have any other residency-based exemption anywhere in the country. So if you were to buy a home for the first time and you're going to file for homestead, you would have to bring in documents that say, hey, this is my primary residence. Driver's license, a vehicle registration, your voter's card. If you're registered to vote, you don't have to be registered to vote, but you can't be registered in any other county or state. And then we also require a Social Security number.
Okay, and so it's allowed to be your second home, but it needs to be the majority of the year. Is that correct? Or is there a certain amount of months that they have to live here to qualify for that?
So there is no amount of time you have to reside in your property to qualify for homestead exemption. However, you must own and reside on the property as of January the 1st. So I'm going to give you the example of an airline pilot. Okay, now let's just pretend that that pilot is flying 50 weeks out of the year.
Right.
Okay, that is still his or her primary residence, and as long as they don't apply for a residency-based exemption in any other county or state, they can continue to have that even if they're home 2 weeks out of the year. I mean, that is a big fallacy, that you have to live in your property for 6 months or what have you prior to filing. That there's no such law, but you do have to own and occupy as of January 1.
And then how about using that property as a rental property sometimes?
It gets really tricky. Renting your homesteaded property is the quickest way to lose your exemption. Okay, and there are some allowances for renting your property, although I don't suggest it. But the law does allow folks to rent their property no more than 30 days in 2 consecutive years. However, if you were to rent your property for 10 days from December 25th, right, through the first few days in January, you would lose your exemption because you have to own and occupy as of January 1.
Got it.
So that could be an instance where you would put your benefits in jeopardy. The only caveat to that is for our active military. There is a provision in the law for them. If they keep their active duty papers on file with their respective property appraiser, they can rent their property and still have homestead exemption.
That's great. All right, so to recap, the benefits of homestead exemption are $50,000 off the assessed value.
Correct.
And then 3% cap of
the assessed value from 1 year to the next.
Okay.